Monday Night Raw is done, and we are well on that road to Saturday night's main event, but welcome to Hot Takes. It's great to have you. My name's Conman167, and I ask you every single week over on X to submit your hot takes, your bold predictions, thoughts, concerns, or whatever else you may have on the show, and then we sit down right here after every single Raw and SmackDown. We talk about them, critique them, sometimes roast them. It's a lot of fun. So if you'd like to submit your hot takes in the future, be sure to follow me over on X at Conman167, and as for this video, make sure you leave a like on it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and keep coming back every single day because we upload wrestling videos every single day. All right, let's read your hot takes. Can we possibly see Finn as double champ, or does Dominic Mysterio cost Finn Balor the world title opportunity for saying Dom wasn't deserving of it? Finn Balor becoming world champion and becoming two-belt Balor is definitely a possibility this Saturday at Saturday night's main event, but I wouldn't get my hopes up because after what Finn Balor said to Dominic Mysterio on Monday Night Raw, I actually think that Dominic Mysterio is going to cost Finn Balor this world title opportunity. It'd be easy to say that it's going to be some sort of miscommunication or some sort of vengeance plan from Damian Priest to stop Finn Balor of getting the world title, and that allows Gunther to capitalize, but I think it really has to be Dominic Mysterio costing Finn Balor, not on purpose, but inadvertently. Because it certainly seems in 2025, WWE's focus is elevating the star power of Dominic Mysterio, and dare I say it, it might be WWE's goal to turn Dominic Mysterio babyface against Finn Balor. Or it could simply be the other way around. But all I know is that WWE desperately needs more stars in the mid-card division, and both Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio would become great mid-card stars that could carry a feud for 3-4 months easily, whether it be around a championship or just against each other. And with all the cracks forming in the Judgment Day, it is really just a matter of time before this eventual feud happens. So you might as well start to tease it here at Saturday night's main event, have Dominic Mysterio accidentally cost Finn Balor the championship, and allow Gunther to retain his title that way. Or hell, it could be Damian Priest that wins the World Heavyweight title off of Finn Balor from a miscommunication. Like, who knows, man? Who knows? Lyra Valkyria should become the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. She deserves it. I think at this point in the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament, we have two favorites that are likely going to emerge. It is either going to be Lyra Valkyria or Dakota Kai, the two people that have already advanced in the Women's IC Championship tournament. And if we take a look at the brackets, like, there is definitely the possibility that somebody like Raquel Rodriguez or even like a Natalya or Kairi Sane could advance to the finals of the championship, and it might still end up being something like that. It might end up being like Lyra versus Raquel, or it might be Dakota versus Kairi to get some sort of damage control battle. There is definitely some options to go with, but Lyra Valkyria as the first ever Women's IC Champion does make a lot of sense, especially considering WWE wants to establish her as a star for the future. She's so talented at everything that she does, and while she is more of a newer superstar than, say, Dakota Kai or even like a Natalya, she definitely has the chops and the in-ring ability to carry this championship and go on a great run with it. And part of the Intercontinental Championship is elevating new stars, right? It's not always just giving the title to somebody just to say thanks for being here for a long time. And while there's a lot of people on the roster that this championship could have gone on to, if we're deciding to elevate somebody and make a brand new star, it needs to be Lyra Valkyria, and I don't think anybody's going to argue me with that. It almost feels like Lyra Valkyria could be the Kalani Jordan of the main roster, where Kalani won that Women's North American Championship, went on a great run with it, elevated the championship, got great championship defenses as a result, and then eventually dropped the title to somebody else who could take it to the next level. This feels like Lyra Valkyria was made for the Women's IC Championship, and in my opinion, it's her or Dakota Kai that are going to be walking out as champ. If anyone else won't say it, I will. This is the best the New Day has looked in 5+ years. The amount of heat they are generating after what they did to Big E is amazing, and it's way better than what we thought the original plan was going to be. Together as heels, greater than splitting them up. So it's still very early in the New Day's heel run to truly say if heel New Day is better than babyface New Day, because let's face it, babyface New Day is one of the greatest tag teams in the history of WWE. But I gotta say, I am incredibly intrigued with the heat that the New Day are getting right now, and it's so wild to actually see the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, booed in 2024. Like, they were getting Dominic Mysterio levels of heat. And this is definitely better than than what the original plan was going to be. It seemed like, at least what reports are saying, that Odyssey Jones was straight up going to replace Big E in the New Day. So I'm glad we've gone in this direction. Even though Odyssey Jones seemed intriguing as a character, replacing Big E in the New Day and having Odyssey Jones, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods as a trio, that doesn't interest me. And even in that case, I don't think the fans truly would have booed the New Day. They eventually would have got behind them again. But after what Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods said to Big E about his broken neck, so what? Dude, the fans are not going to forgive that anytime soon. Now, granted, I am one of those people that maybe thinks Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are onto something, but that's another video for another time. Like, dude, it was just a broken neck. Get over it. 10 out of 10 rage bait. But this heel turn eventually has to lead to Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods capturing the tag team titles. In fact, that would make the tag team division very, very interesting moving forward. Unless, you know what, I may be wrong with that, and maybe WWE wants to elevate these guys up the card. We did see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have a moment with Cody Rhodes, so could we maybe be looking at some sort of Cody Rhodes versus Xavier, Kofi Kingston storyline coming up? Like, I don't know about you, but that actually intrigues the hell out of me. But right now, what we're doing with the New Day storyline is we are positioning Kofi and Xavier for the future. Whether it's something with Big E, like maybe Big E returns at the Royal Rumble and it sets up some sort of triple threat at WrestleMania between the New Day, or maybe this is a way to try to elevate Kofi and Xavier up into the main event scene after WrestleMania season. Like, we do need characters that are gonna be disliked by the fans, characters that are going to be heels, if you will, to the babyface that is on top of WWE after WWE's WrestleMania. So like going into SummerSlam, going into the rest of the year, we might need somebody new in that spot, and maybe that's Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. All I know though is that this heel turn is great for their characters. It's a great change in pace. It's something I never thought we would ever see happen. I never thought we'd see Kofi Kingston get booed, let alone the New Day. So what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. But the New Day turning heel has been a wild turn, and I'm so here for it. Io Sky shouldn't win at Saturday night's main event, but instead she should win the Rumble, and Rhea wins the title on the first episode of Raw on Netflix. Yeah, we might very well have gotten a tease of what's to come at WrestleMania 41 for the Women's World title, as the ending of Monday Night Raw saw Rhea Ripley and Io Sky both lifting up that Women's World Championship that does not belong to either of them. And if we take a look back at last year's build to WrestleMania, we saw a lot of teases between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch before the actual big match happened at WrestleMania. And this year, you can kind of say we saw some teases between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley as well. Between them being partners inside of War Games and posing on the very top of the cage after getting the dub, and then this right here with the Women's World title being lifted and being right in between the middle of them, like it's gotta be a tease. There's either a big match coming up between those two very, very soon, or it's a big build to WrestleMania, and my gut says it's a build to WrestleMania. Io and Rhea would tear the house down on the grandest stage of them all, and it certainly sounds like with the right build, it would be a Mania match. Hell, if it got enough heat behind it, in some worlds, in some way, there may be a conversation to say that Rhea Ripley and Io Sky could main event night one, depending on what match is going on night one. Like, you know, let's say if John Cena and Gunther main event that, you know, like, I would just say there's definitely a possibility that she could main event with that type of match. We know that Triple H is very much behind Rhea Ripley and loves what Rhea Ripley brings to the table, and would probably like to give her a WrestleMania main event at some point. So if he's trying to build this up in a big way, her versus Io Sky might be the match to get it done. But let's face it, it's probably just going to open the show. Regardless, though, the idea of Io Sky winning the Women's Royal Rumble and going on to challenge Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for that Women's World title is very intriguing to me. I want to see a proper build for Io Sky, because it felt like we didn't get a true proper build for her last year going into WrestleMania. She showed up at Mania and it was like, oh, here's the presentation we needed for this champion all along, and then she lost the title. So it's time to rebuild Io. It's time to give her that Women's Rumble win, and I would love to see it. Rhea versus Io at WrestleMania. Book it. This is easily the biggest victory Karrion Kross has ever gotten on either Raw or SmackDown. Even if Howdy and the Wyatts win the rest of the feud, it won't take away how big of a win this was for the Final Testament as a whole. 2025 might be the year for Karrion Kross. I actually have to agree. I don't think this loss truly does hurt the Wyatts long term, as long as they come out of this feud with the Final Testament with the win. And I also think that this win here for Karrion Kross Kross does wonders for him going into 2025. If I'm Triple H, I'm taking a look at my pecking order of heels on the roster, and Karrion Kross has got to be one of the ones that are up next. Everything he has touched has turned to gold, and I love that his character arc has been that he is the guy who is changing everybody in WWE. If you feud with Karrion Kross, chances are you're coming out on the other side not too great. And that has me very intrigued for what's to come with the Wyatts, because everybody, once again, who has faced Karrion Kross has come out a different person. And does that mean the Wyatt 6 are going to change after this? And if so, how are they going to change? This loss actually makes the Wyatts far more intriguing than I first thought. How are they going to respond to this? What is Bo Dallas's actual overall goal? How is his followers going to respond to Bo taking the pinfall in this match? Are they here just for retribution? Are they here to act out a greater purpose? Like, what is the reason that they are here? We still don't know, but we might start to begin to find out why they are here after this feud with Karrion Kross in the Final Testament. We know that they are after The Miz, right? They never wanted the Final Testament. They never wanted Karrion Kross or anybody in that family. They just wanted The Miz, but Karrion Kross put his nose where it didn't belong, and as a result, now they are in the sights of the Wyatts. But Final Testament scoring that win is huge for them right there. But I really do think this is going to cause us to get a darker Wyatt family again. I think we're going to see the Wyatt 6 become more unhinged, more deranged. I'd like to see Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, go down this very, very dark path, and maybe his followers are starting to question, you know, him a little bit, and he puts them in their place. That to me sounds like a far more interesting story than what's going on right now. Now again, there may be deeper meaning to a lot more things right here, and I have not been paying attention as close to the behind the scene details as I normally do, but like, I think that there is a new story, a new path here coming for the Wyatts. Time will tell, but give me your theories down in the comments below. I just want to be included, not gonna lie. Well, there you go, Azian. There you go. You're included, all right. And what you can do with this inclusion in this video is you can put this inclusion in this video in a nice little box, okay? And what I want you to do right after that is I want you to wrap up that box, okay? And I want you to put a nice little bow on that thing. And then right after you're done putting a bow on that thing, I want you to turn that sumbitch sideways and shove it straight up your candy ass. Thanks for the tweet, though. After her loss, I'm finally done buying into Raquel Rodriguez as a bodyguard, or someone who could take down Rhea Ripley. Yeah, let's be real. Is Raquel Rodriguez like a top 5 worst bodyguard of all time? Like, Rhea Ripley has destroyed her at every single chance she has gotten. It's kind of crazy. Raquel Rodriguez is zero threat right now. And it's a damn shame, too, because I know WWE sees big things in Raquel Rodriguez, and I was hoping that this return would be a huge moment for her and elevate her star power, but she has not been booked strong at all. She's been booked weaker than Liv Morgan. Like, if you're gonna have a bodyguard, at least make that bodyguard seem intimidating. At least make that bodyguard seem like a threat. But at every single corner, every single chance WWE's had, they have devalued the persona, the aura, if you will, of Raquel Rodriguez. Now she's just out there smiling. Like, I've never seen somebody smile so much before throwing a big boot in the ring. But anyways, I digress. She is not an intimidating bodyguard, and I don't know what WWE needs to do to make Raquel Rodriguez seem like a threat again. It might be the long play, okay? The long-term goal might be for her to turn on Liv Morgan someday and rise her up the card like that, because she's still solid in the ring. She just needs a story that people are actually going to sink their teeth into and some solid booking, and right now, she's not really getting either. We certainly know Raquel Rodriguez can put it all together from her time down in NXT, and there was also this moment where we saw a photo of Raquel, Bianca, and Rhea all holding on to championship gold in NXT. Like, I think it was Bianca and Rhea that were the women's world champions, and then Raquel was the NXT women's champion. Just a crazy picture and a crazy moment that WWE definitely wants to continue on with on the main roster. They see big things for Raquel, so eventually her time's gonna come, but man, we gotta do something about this booking. Seth Rollins has to win this match against CM Punk, story-wise and everything. Plus, he already lost 5 times at WrestleMania since 2020 and twice last year. He needs that win way more than Punk. So if Seth Rollins and CM Punk do face each other at WrestleMania, there is a good argument to be had for both men winning that match, but Seth Rollins probably does need it more than CM Punk. Because let's face it, Seth Rollins has lost a lot at WrestleMania throughout the last 5 years, and him and CM Punk would put on a great matchup, but if Seth Rollins loses that, I don't know where he goes from there. Like, you could turn him heel, he could be a depressed babyface, there is certainly directions to go in, but like, it's it's not much for Seth Rollins. It doesn't help Seth Rollins. It doesn't move him further up the card. It doesn't give him an intriguing story moving forward, unless, of course, WWE somehow is able to write one, then in which case I will shut up. But if CM Punk were to lose going forward out of WrestleMania, that to me is more interesting, because then it's the question of, okay, you got to WrestleMania, you fought your foe, somebody that you were just dismissing for so long, and then you lost to him. Like, are you too old? Are you washed? Are you going to retire? Like, where does CM Punk go after WrestleMania? Is there like a redemption story? Like, who knows? There's so many more interesting directions for Punk than there is for Rollins if Punk loses than if Seth Rollins loses. And we also still have to remember that Seth Rollins is in his prime and CM Punk is not. Yeah, sure, CM Punk has a lot of drawing power, but if we want to try to elevate the next generation of stars, we got to keep Seth Rollins strong. Like, he's one of, if not the most important wrestlers on the roster for the next generation of stars. He is going to be the guy who constantly puts over other people, who is training people, who is there giving advice every single week. Seth Rollins is a worker's worker, and if he can get this win and continue to keep his star momentum moving forward, man, then I think we've got a huge star in Rollins and a very interesting story in CM Punk. So I think that's got to be the answer. But rumors are saying that this match might not actually happen at WrestleMania, and it might be slotted for the very first episode of Raw on Netflix. And if that's the case, I'm actually so here for that as well, because that would make that Netflix show, the debut show on Netflix, so important, so must see. And hey, like, it's never a bad idea making a show must see. Are we sacrificing a WrestleMania main event caliber match just for the first episode of Raw on Netflix? Possibly. And if that is the case, we could be looking at something else for CM Punk at WrestleMania this year, like a Roman Reigns type matchup, or hell, maybe we even see some sort of triple threat with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And then if The Rock's available, maybe Rock and Cody go to war, or maybe it's Rock and Roman and Cody and Punk somehow go to war. I have no idea. There's so many interesting directions that we can go in now. And when do you guys think that this match is going to happen? Because clearly I have no idea, but Seth Rollins should win it. That's all I do know. Dom hasn't been on the mic to garner that heel heat from the crowd in weeks, and there's several reasons why, in my opinion. I think Dom is slowly turning face. The crowd needed someone new to boo, and New Day it is. Woods could be a top heel champion in 2025 if the story is presented right. It certainly does seem like the New Day and Dominic Mysterio's reactions have swapped, as a lot more people are starting to root for Dominic Mysterio, and a lot more people are booing the New Day. And if we do look at the story how WWE has been presenting Dominic Mysterio over the last little bit, it's not necessarily been in the way of like a bad dude, a slimy dude. It's really been the Judgment Day, mostly Finn Balor, kind of talking down towards him, not believing in Dominic Mysterio, and we see those cracks forming within the Judgment Day. On one side, we have Finn Balor, Carlito, and JD McDonough, who, by the way, is also not loving what Finn Balor has been saying as of late. And then on the other side, we have Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. It does feel like at some point this group is going to split, it's going to crack, and they're going to go their own separate ways. And with that being the case, I wonder if WWE plans on pushing Dominic Mysterio up the card in 2025 as a babyface, and maybe the long-term vision is seeing Dominic Mysterio win the Intercontinental Championship with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez by his side. Like, I can see that happening. And if we are turning Dominic Mysterio babyface, it makes perfect sense to replace this heel act in Dominic Mysterio with a more despised heel act in the New Day, who just turned on their best friend of 10 years because he broke his neck. Again, the dude should have got back sooner than this. Like, come on, Big E. Like, what are you doing? You're not taking this seriously? But because of this new heel turn for the New Day, I do wonder if they plan on putting championship gold on either Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston in 2025 as well. I could totally see them holding on to the Intercontinental Championship, considering where the story has been, that Kofi Kingston gave up his opportunity for Xavier Woods to go after the IC Championship. You know, there's some story there to signal that maybe they would go back after that championship. Or maybe it's even a bigger story, like we mentioned earlier on in this Hot Takes episode. Maybe we do see Xavier Woods go after Cody Rhodes, or Kofi Kingston go after Cody Rhodes, or a combination of the two at some point. Like with Cody Rhodes talking down to them on Monday Night Raw, saying they should be ashamed of themselves. I don't think they're going to forget that anytime anytime soon. Regardless, it's just so insane to see the New Day get booed like this, and it's crazy to see Dominic Mysterio get cheered. What are your thoughts? Let me know. But that's it for this week's hot takes. Let me know any other hot takes you have down in the comments below, and I look forward to reading them. And also, while you're down there, make sure you leave a like on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and keep coming back every single day because we upload wrestling videos every single day. All right, take care, have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow.